say.
What did he sign?
I had a baseball. Yeah. I told him, I was like, I want blue ink and I want it on a sweet spot. And he did it.
To eBay.
Right on. I think I can jack it up a little bit. Jack that price up.
Questions for Brendan?
How's the winter been?
It's been great, honestly. I feel healthy. I'm excited for this next year. I'm excited for this young core that we have. And, we're about to head down to Florida. It's going to be exciting.
How much did the process of all the ARB stuff kind of get into your winter, and then how do you kind of keep that where it needs to be and keep yourself where you need to be too?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it is going into that process. It's, you learn a lot, but honestly, it is business. It is business, and that's how I see it. My job is to prepare. My job is to be a great teammate, have a great mentality, and play hard as hell. That's what I'm focused on. And, it is what it is, and I'm excited for this process. And ultimately, I've shifted gears, and I'm ready to get down to Florida.
Donnie, you mentioned the young core. You also mentioned Sonny. Sonny was in here a little bit earlier, and he said flat out the young group has to become their team. They have to take this over. In your mind, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to establish identity until you really get kicked to the mound. I think that's when you get through adversity, that's when you really find out what your group looks like. But we got a lot of very talented, very hungry, and motivated players. And this group can be molded however we want to, but I think it's important to let them know that they can be themselves. They can be, and it's our job to make them as comfortable as possible, right? If you are comfortable and you care about someone and you've invested in someone, then you're going to get the most out of them, and that's the process that I want to take.
How has the notion of your own kind of leadership role developed now that you are a guy who has been around the block a few times and has that kind of wisdom to impart on younger guys too?
I'm still learning. Don't get me wrong. I don't have anything figured out, and I probably never will. I'm still learning. I try to lean on people that I played with. I try to lean on my dad and his military background. I try to lean on my buddy Mike Irwin with Team Red, White, and Blue. Those are some guys I lean on for leadership wisdom. My agency as well. I just love an outside opinion that can tell me sometimes as human beings we have blinders. So, like I said, my approach is I want to invest in the people, and when I can earn their trust and earn their respect, that's when you can really try to hold people accountable. If you come in and you just try to tell people what to do, it probably won't work for you. So I want to first build that relationship, and then we go from there.
With a winter like this, where the organization is letting guys go in free agency and being pretty upfront about their intention, how do you all as a group kind of process that and keep yourselves pointed in that direction that you need to be in?
Right. I mean, it's not our job to be involved in that. Our job is to represent this organization in a positive light, and that's our intention. Right. If we have a very tight-knit group and we're focused on winning, then I think the rest takes care of itself.
Donnie, there's been such a focus on playing the youth, right, and the runway of having consistent playing time. What excites you about this next core that we're going to be seeing a lot of in 25?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, knowing that, hey, like, I'm going to be in there, that gives you like a real shot of confidence. Like, you're not like, oh my goodness, I need to get a hit tonight, or I need to make this play. Because if you need to do something, there's going to be an added pressure. It's like, hey, you're going to be in there, right? We believe in you. We trust you to get the job done. To me, that's a shot of confidence, no matter who you are, no matter what line of work you're in. And so for me because I see the guys prepare, right? And when you know them as people, and you know how much they genuinely do care, to see them go out there and know that they're going to be in there and have some success, that's what I'm most excited to see.
Do you feel like that pressure that they need to do, or you need to do something? Is that something that you feel like you've seen in recent years, like with some of those young guys? Like, have you actually seen that sort of play out, you think?
I've felt it for sure. I mean, we've all felt it, right? When you're at the highest level of something, there's always going to be pressure. It's just how do you focus on things that you can control. I have it boiled down to 3 things that I can control: my preparation, my mentality, and my effort. Right? So if I can focus on those 3 things and I can handle those 3 things, then I can swallow the rest.
Sonny mentioned not being sold on this notion that the group y'all have is not one that can win, because he had a decision to, I still want to be a part of this, that he made this offseason. That aspect of guys having that runway a little bit, another thing that Sonny said was there's going to have to be a couple of those guys that go from, hey, they're getting a regular shot and suddenly they turn into all-stars. Is that runway something that is almost necessary for a player to be able to make that leap and kind of find that confidence from the opportunity?
I think it, an opportunity is an opportunity, right? And how you take advantage of that is kind of how each person is wired, I guess. But the notion of like cutting payroll or we're not gonna win, like I don't see that notion. Like I don't see that at all. I see this as an opportunity for us to shock a lot of people. I mean, you look around, it is on paper, it is a good looking roster in my opinion. Now it's important for us to come together as a group. I'm excited for that to happen. But I think this team's gonna shock a lot of people.
Just Brendan, when it comes to like maybe sort of like the stuff you can't quantify with like a group like the intangible, do you see anything that sticks out among you guys and like kind of that young group that's coming up and is likely to get opportunities this year?
Yeah, I mean they're hungry, right? By hungry, what I mean is like hungry for information, hungry to get better, hungry to learn from those around them, hungry to have success in this league, hungry to prove these fans right, because the fans do believe in us, hungry to make this organization have success and get us back in the postseason. That's what I see from this group. And this organization is special. I'm very proud to be part of this organization, and I want to get this thing back in the postseason. And when I look around the locker room, I see a lot of people that want that as well.
Mo's been really upfront with us in terms of looking for a spot for Nolan maybe and kind of what that looks like. How do you structure your offseason based around your defensive work? That changes third, that changes second. There's a lot that comes out of that. So, how do you respond to that with that preparation side?
Well, for me, obviously, last year I was coming off that elbow surgery. It's kind of just making sure your arm's like fully in shape. I mean, it was last year, but you're coming off the surgery 6-7 months out of that by the time the season started. Yeah, 6-7 months. So for me, it's just like make sure that it's ready to go. I can throw from left, I can throw from right, I can throw from third, I can fill in it short if Mason needs a day. Second, hopefully I'm not catching, or hopefully I'm not pitching either. But ready for whatever my arm may need. And then on the ground ball side of things, it's just making sure you're working on your initial read, your initial step, making sure you're driving, producing force out of the ground so you can take a deeper angle or cut that ball off or whatever that is. And I think that just comes with, Stubby taught us a lot. Brandon Crawford brought it over, and Stubby was really diligent with us about that little red machine that you see us use. Is that is such a good tool that I actually bought one and used it this offseason. I had my wife on it. And it's taking efficient reps, patterning those reps so my body knows what to do when it does get fast in the game, and then creating angles. So arm, and then just getting consistent reps of ones that you may get in game.
Are you're where you want to be with your arm though? I assume it feels how you want it to feel and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I feel good. I really do feel good.
Hey, Brendan, I want to ask you about another disciplined hitting teammate of yours, Lars Nootbaar. Can you kind of put in words an appreciation for the way he takes at bats and works pitchers and the whole thing?
Yeah, it's amazing. He'll go down 0-2, and then I'll blink and he'll be walking to first base. How did you just flip 0-2, foul off a couple pitches, and then take that back foot slider like it was nothing, and then head to first? And then not to mention, when he does decide to go on a pitch over the middle, he hits the ball so freaking hard. It's a bit of a cheat code, I think, but it's impressive. Obviously, played with him all throughout the minor leagues, and he's gonna when he's on that field and he's healthy, man, he's one of the best players in the game, I think.
Donnie, when you think about guys like Wilson and Sonny deciding that they're on board for what's coming next and resetting everything else, what does that, I guess, mean to you that those guys decide they wanted to stay on board when they, could open the doors and gone somewhere else?
It shows that they believe in the people in that locker room, right? They believe in their teammates. They believe in the direction that we are going. And, looking at that from an outside perspective, you're like, man, that really matters to me. That shows that they genuinely do care and that they think that we can do some big things.
Brendan, when you think about your progress as a hitter from where you were when you first came up to where you are today, what would you say is the biggest evolution for you or change on whether it's approach or just the results? Where would you say you're at today compared to where you were day one?
Yeah, I'll look back at my swing from 2022 or even the minor leagues, and I'll be like, wow, that looks so much different now. I think it's the evolution, but also having to adjust with the game of baseball and how people are pitching. I think mechanically, some big things. I was really wide, and I put my toe down early, and I didn't have much going on here. First I want to mention, like, I still want to have like a firm understanding of who I am as a player and what I'm trying to accomplish, without losing that what I thought my skill sets were. Maybe being a little bit taller, maybe being a little bit more athletic, maybe having like a little bit of a bigger move that won't jeopardize contact or chase rate or my, like, I do not want to punch out more, like I cannot stand striking out. So that mechanical adjustment as well. Also understanding my body a little bit more, knowing that I throw right-handed and hit left-handed, and this arm does not work the same as this arm. You know, this back shoulder may not be able to externally, I'm going a little nerdy on you, externally rotate as much. So understanding my body and how it wants to move. And then on the approach side of things, it's like, guys know that I was going to take some pitches, and I blink and I'm 0-2, and I'm like, that's not a good count to be in. And then you're fighting for your life. So being willing to take a couple more chances based off of the situation, based off of the score of the game, based off of who's on the mound, what he likes to throw, how I'm feeling, factoring all those things, but also training in the cage, knowing I got to go on some pitches earlier tonight, or this is a guy that I can wait out a little bit longer. It's just opening my eyes on being willing to take some chances and understanding that there will be some failure involved, but that's the only way to learn.
Is that mindset part of why, I mean, your first pitch swing rate went way up last year? Is that part of that?
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to, you have to be the aggressor. If they know that they can just lay one in there and you're 0-1, then they can do whatever they want. But if sometimes you go in there and you can hopefully try to scare them out of the zone a little bit.
Along those lines, what's been your interaction so far with Grant Brown? Just have you gotten to work much with him, and just what have you thought it's been so far?
Yeah, I hit with him about an hour ago. Snuck in and got some work with him, showered and ran over here. It's been awesome. I went and hit with him in Arizona, as I talked about with John, and then so we talked about, like, we had video from there. We had dialogue based off of that, come up with like kind of like a routine and game plan, and then today just to kind of see that progression, it was pretty cool. It's like, hey man, we started to clean up some of those things that we were talking about late December, early January. Very, very excited to have him on board.
Donnie, I want to take you back to 2024. I know we're talking about 2025 a lot, but I want to take you back to 24. Can you talk a little bit more about what Rickwood meant to you and that experience and being, an Alabama guy and hitting that home run, and just, now that you've had some time to kind of reflect on that, just kind of speak to that experience.
Yeah, first off, I want to say I think that was an important moment for baseball. I think it was an important moment for the city of Birmingham and the state of Alabama. And then on a personal note, you try to play this, it's a kid's game, right? You try to play like a kid, and I really try to play like a kid, but that was like probably one of the highlights of my baseball career, because I was like, I feel like I'm a kid and I'm really playing summer baseball in Alabama, something that I've done since I was a kid. And obviously to have a big game there in front of some family and friends, it was just like a lot of prayers answered, because you dream of those moments, like going home and playing in front of a home crowd and then having a big game. It felt like a fairy tale to me. And for us to win as well, to be playing some really good baseball at the time. I know it meant a lot to my teammates to play at Rickwood. And I had a lot of friends that had played there growing up. It was just a very special moment, and I hope that they continue to do that game.
To keep it a little more sentimental for a moment, I believe you were a finalist for the Active Valor Award this past year. What did that mean to you, especially given your background in the military?
Yeah, it's special. The military in this country, we live in the best country in the world. It gives me the luxury and us to be here, right? For me to play this game, an opportunity for us to live in a safe and free country. And to see my family, not just my father, but my mother sacrifice so much for us as kids. I feel like it's my duty to try to do more, and I want to do more, and I think that I can do more. To be nominated for that award, I think that's very special. Obviously, the awards, I try not to let them go to my head, but it lets me know that, hey, you can do more. You can make an impact in this field. There's a lot of people in the military community that need help, and we can make a difference there.
Do you have any plans of things your goals for this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna host my first ever charity event this year. We're still trying to hammer down those dates. I met with the Kaufman Fund this morning, a local charity as well. So I think the most important thing is awareness, raising awareness about the veterans that do need help, and then from there deciding what's the best plan to take action. Obviously, the charity event will do a lot of good in that field as well. Thank you for asking.
Any further questions for Brendan?
I hate to follow up such a meaningful question, such a stupid one.
Such thing.
Could use some advice. What's your hair care routine?
My hair care routine. Well, since I had a daughter, she thinks it's hilarious to pull on it, but you know, I try not to wash it too much. I don't want to have a dirty head though, and my wife has been on me for a couple years by having leave-in conditioner. But it's funny, you know, we just talked about military background, and I got a beard and long hair, and so it's kind of a little bit of an oxymoron there. But you look good, man. You're rocking right now.
Just trying to kind of follow your vibe.
You're leading the charge. I love it.